I always wonder this. Oh, you must have a TV thing today. ESPN.
It's got a tie clip on it.
Is it a tie clip or is it a clip or?
It's a real tie. It's not a clip on.
I'm gonna tell you guys a true story, right? So my first 2 years of high school, I went to Mount St. Michael Academy. You had to wear. Don't film this. Stop. Okay, you can start in a minute. I see the red light on. Does that mean it's on or off?
It's on. There.
All right, thank you. So I always had like a big neck, you know, when I was a kid growing up. So you had to wear. We had Maris Priest. You had to wear the top button had to be buttoned, and your tie had to be up. So like, you know, people like clip-ons and people like everything. So we didn't have a lot of money. So after a while, most of the time, my top button would rip, and then I would get there, and when the brothers would see me, they say, you know, Mr. Marrone, why isn't your button? I say, well, I'm sorry, brother, my top button broke, you know, and they would let you go. You know, they wouldn't really do it. All of a sudden, my mom put a shirt for me. I had a new shirt. I put it on. Didn't think anything about it. Didn't button the top button. Get up there, and in the morning there was a quad, and you stay in the quad. So I go to I'm in the quad, and the bell rings, and I go to pull my tie up, and I feel I have a top button. I'm like, shit. So I go to the side, and I rip it off. So I rip this top button off, right?
Why would you
Then
just
go in,
button it?
because I don't like feel, you know, when you're fat, you know what I'm saying? You feel like ugh, it kills you. So I go to my first period class, you know, which was like homeroom at the time, and one of the brothers walks in and says, Mr. Marrone, is your top button button? I go through the same speech. Well, brother, you know, I'm sorry, my button had broke. He said, so that wasn't you that I saw ripping your top button off right there? And I knew I was busted, right? So, and he's got to remember now, like, he was like this big, and I'm like this big, right? He goes, come here, give me a tie. So he takes my tie, and he ties it underneath my chin, across, and it comes out like bunny rabbit ears. And he told me I had to wear it all day, and I could only take it off for lunch. Now I'm a freshman, or I think it was my freshman year. So the seniors and everyone were just teachers. It was one of the toughest deals I've ever gone through.
Did it teach you a lesson?
So excuse me?
Did it teach you a lesson?
Hell yeah, it did.
What was it?
You know, freaking always button your top button. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing deeper than that?
No, but every time I go like this and I unbutton it, like if I'm on the plane, I'm always like, yeah, brother. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. This is for you. Bam. This is for you. Okay. All right. We're ready.
Hey,
So,
you said on Monday you were going to change practice.
time out. Can I just start with a statement? Am I allowed to do that? Golly.
Well, I figured you already made your
Everything's getting crazy. That wasn't a statement. I was just telling a story about the tie. It just hit me. All right. So obviously, there you go. All right. So, and my point was, I wish I had a clip on because then he couldn't have tied it like that. But anyway, obviously, met with both quarterbacks afterwards, late. I don't know what time exactly, but it was obviously in the afternoon, and I made a decision to, you know, obviously to go with Blake, and like I said, you know, looking at his leadership, looking at, you know, a lot of things that he can do, and you know, we're excited about that and going. I think, you know, we have a good understanding of what needs to be done, but at the same sense, you know, it's hard for me as a coach to control the message of what's going on the outside. It's not just that one position. You know, it's everyone, and it's all of us as coaches. And you know, when people say, you know, what's going on? Why does this team look different? You know what, you know, situation, and you know, I always say the first thing that comes to my mind is, you know, I have to do a better job. You know, when it comes to me. So, you know, for me, you know, that's what I have to do. I have to do a better job with this team in all areas, coaching around, and we all need to, you know, take our level up. I showed them a couple of clips this morning about, hey, listen, you know, this is the team we want to be from this year. You know, pictures where we're excited and we're going, we're making plays, and we're not playing like the team, you know, like we want to play or should play. So, you know, and then obviously the thing that's been getting us is the first one is obviously it's takeaways and giveaways. So, for us, and you'll see it today, we're going to spend extra time, and put it into the practice schedule, to make sure that, we're putting a major emphasis on that, of something that, really, you guys know me well enough that we've emphasized since the first day I've gotten this job, and I've always emphasized it every time I've been a coach, and especially when I've been the head coach to the team. So, that's what we have to do. Got to get out there with a lot of enthusiasm. We have a lot of things logistically, that a lot of us have been through before, with this trip going over to London. So, we got to get ourselves mentally prepared for that, doing all the things that we've done in the past, and get on the field and go practice and, look forward to getting out there, putting in the work, look forward to getting out there to play this game.
Going into it.
There, the opening statement is over. All right, go ahead. Do you want to go first?
No, you answered my question.
Without going into it too much, just what was the tone of the conversation with Blake specifically on Monday?
Well, those things, I've always said I'm going to keep the conversations with the players private, but it was a conversation, a good conversation. I think most of my conversations with the players are a matter of fact, and it's a lot easier to do it. When the emotion of how we feel about what's going on is gone. And that's everyone, including myself. That make no mistake, and you realize this, there is frustration, And, if everyone comes out at one time and just blast everything, then that's kind of chaotic, when you do it. But I think, when you think about it, you just do it, and you start where you start every conversation, and you have to believe this because it's a team sport. You start everything where the first thing you do is you look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, look, I have to do a better job. And I think when that happens, then it opens it up and goes. And that's how I've talked to the players. I've got to do a better job. We all have to do a better job. We're not doing what we need to be doing, and it's all of our responsibility. And I know, obviously, ultimately in this room, it falls on me.
What gives you confidence that Blake will play better?
Because I think I've seen it before. I think I've seen it before, and again, it's going to go a lot back to that position a lot of times, but I don't want anyone to lose sight of what I said after the game, meaning that, I made that move, because it's the only really move you can get to grab attention and grab focus. The problem that you have when you make that decision as a coach, make no mistake about it, is that I did it for that reason, okay, so I can evaluate things better and get a better feel, but when that decision's made and you tell people about that decision, the next thing what it's going to do from a standpoint of everything outside the building, it's going to open everything up. It's going to put the focus on the quarterback. And that's where I've got to do a good job with everyone here, being like, okay, is that a part of it? Sure, we need better play. But the bigger picture is we all need to play better. And that's what I always try to communicate to the team, and I think that's hard to do, from a standpoint of when you get out here publicly, saying here, because it's a better story when it's, the quarterback stuff. And that's just but that's the nature of the business. I get it. I don't have any issues with that.
There are multiple reports that Cody will be getting first team reps this week.
Mm-hmm.
Are those accurate?
I'm going to go back to what I said on Monday. I sat here, looked you guys all in the eye, said that, whoever the quarterback was at that time is going to take starter reps. I believed in that my whole entire life. So I answered the question on Monday. I'll answer the question again. Yes, that Blake will take all the starter reps. Does that mean that Cody doesn't take any reps? He'll take the normal reps that he did these last 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
You said at the end that was basically none for the first game, so that's...
Last week we got him in there a little bit, a couple of second-team guys, 2 or 3. I said the only time I really adjust reps is for injuries, and when I put someone in there, I put them in there with the belief that they're gonna play and they're gonna do well. The only time I ever look at someone where, they might be on a short-term period is when the starter is injured, and then now the starter is going to come back and play. And that's the only time I look at things that way. But as far as everyone that's on the field, I put them in there with the belief that they're going to be able to get the job done and continue it and turn this thing in the right direction and keep playing well and win football games.
Doug, this might be a better question for Friday, but with the quarterback...
You know what always happens? If someone always says, this may be a better question for Friday, then it's a better question on Friday.
True.
But go ahead.
But in the limited time you've had with the team this week after all this, have you seen that focus from everybody?
I've had a lot of time. I've seen. I think it's the same thing. When you always get yourself in trouble, when in this profession, it's a performance-based business. You have to put the work in during the week. But if you don't perform, how do you sit up here and say, oh, we were focused all week, we had great practice, and you play that way? So for me, I never try to fall into, evaluating the day. I'd rather just say, here's the performance. Now I'm going to go back and evaluate the week of either what we need to do a better job of or what we did a good job of, maintaining that, and seeing what was the cause. And that's difficult sometimes in a performance-based business.
Carlos Hyde hasn't been here but a few days now. Is he being able to catch up on things? Kind of where is he?
I think we're in pretty good shape. The offense that he's been involved with, terminology-wise, is kind of close. In other words, the philosophy of principles, the foundation of the system's the same. I think that he's been very hungry and eager, and today is the first day that we'll get out there and see it. So we're excited about that.
What's the challenge? And facing Carson Wentz, it seems like the 5 games he's been back, he started to sort of get rolling a little bit.
Yeah, he's getting better and better each week, coming back from that injury. He's a big, strong quarterback, can make the throws, shake things off, meaning, defenders that are around him. He can run the ball, and he's got a lot of weapons around him, too, to help him.
Playing to your identity, can that fix some of your offensive woes?
Yeah, make no mistake about it. We've had, quite a few injuries on offense, and people are brought here, drafted or developed here, to play a certain way of type of football. Not to say that we can't play any other way, but that's what we've worked on. So, yes, if we can play to the identity that we want to play, we feel that will help us, become a better team and start winning some games.
Dante Moncrief, Keelan Cole, Dede, those guys what do they need to do better to help?
I think overall we just got to make sure that when we have the opportunity to make plays, we have to be able to make those plays. I think that a lot can be said about, hey, this catch or that catch. Obviously everything that's close to them that they can get their hands on, we've got to be able to catch the ball. We're looking for the run after catch we had. We're looking to run behind people. We've done that here this year, with those players. And we've got to do a better job. A lot of times for them to operate like the quarterback and the running backs, for them to operate, other people are going to have to do a good job, meaning that you have to protect, okay, make sure that you have to deliver the football, and that the people that are not maybe getting the ball or not to read are clearing it out and making a space for that person, to get better. So obviously we all need to just, keep getting better, and we need to start making plays. You look at the 3 games that we won, we made some plays, made some big plays. When you look at the games that we're not winning, we haven't made plays, in all 3 phases. So, we've got to concentrate, keep working, and make some plays.
Have you addressed the decision to go back to Blake with the whole team?
Yeah, I sent out my deal is, like I tell you guys before, I don't like getting things out there early. So it went to the team, then it went to the local people.
So it was like it's the text.
Yeah, we have teamwork. So that's how,
Yeah,
the players weren't. I didn't have everybody here.
Yeah, no, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
I don't know if you plan on.
No, I talked to them about, hey, everyone needs to do better. Everyone needs to focus. Like you said, I tried to explain it before. I told you the reason why I made the decision to get everybody's focus, but everyone's going to put it back on to these two players. That's not the case. The case is it's on everyone, right? You have to go through these things because you got to make sure you're doing a good job, like I do at every position, and think about things before I make it. But it is what it is. So it's not like, it's not where you're trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like the biggest thing in the world. It's not as big to us because I already talked to the team, prior to that of why we were doing it.
The clips you showed this morning of what you want them to play like or what they're capable of playing like, offense, defense mix, and can you give me some?
All three.
Can you give me some examples of what games?
All three games that we won, we took it from all 3, and we had about 3 or 4 clips from each phase: offense, defense, and special teams.
Coach, that player only meaning said not out of the norm. Do you feel it's helped kind of refocus everyone and get them on the same page ahead of this long trip now?
Working on it. I mean, that's a goal, from a communication standpoint. you know, the only way to right it is to make sure everyone's pulling in the same direction. You know, that's what we've talked to the players about. You know, it's just like for a boat to go forward, you know, everyone has to be rowing the same way. You know what I mean? So, you know, you have to have the mindset of everyone has to be going in the same direction. I think, you know, it's like anything else. If you're off a little bit, you know, if you're off a little bit, you're never going to get to where you want to go. And that's the one thing that I've been trying to talk to the team about. Where if there's any issues, any problems, any frustration, come to me, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm the only one that can make the changes.
How do you feel about your depth at cornerback right now? Patman won't practice today. Hayden won't practice today.
Yeah, but Herndon's coming back. So Herndon's full go. He's ready to go. So that helps. You know what I'm saying? Obviously with that depth.
Have enough bodies there
to play the game? Yes.
To play and win?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Or else I wouldn't have to make the trip.
You'd make it anyway. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug.